My 30th birthday gala sparkled with perfume-silked shoulders and champagne flutes that never emptied. My husband lifted the silver knife and, in front of everyone, sliced the first wedge of mango mousse cake. I smiled up at him, waiting for the yearly ritual, him sliding that first sweetness toward me. Instead, he pivoted with effortless grace and placed the slice, together with the decade of my misspent youth, in front of my best friend. Bella, you love this flavor? Have some more. His smile was soft and lingering, as though she, not I, were the woman he'd grow old with. The curve of my lips froze inch by inch, and then I flung the divorce papers I'd hidden under my clutch, slapping them across the glaring white icing between the two of them. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. Serena, have you lost your mind? Julian's shock and incomprehension crashed over me like ice water, trying to douse the wildfire inside. You're divorcing me? Over cake? I stared at him, at the man I had loved for 10 years, and for the first time he felt like a stranger. Yes, over cake. The instant the words left me, Bella dropped to her knees with a thud, clutching my hem, tears coursing in picturesque rivulets. Serena, don't do this. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have eaten that slice. You and Julian have years together. How can you let it go like this? Hit me. Yell at me. Just please don't file for divorce. She knelt there, weeping like a cherry blossom storm, playing the tragic ingenue while painting me the cruel witch who tears lovers apart. The guests' whispers stabbed me like needles. Serena's overreacting. Seriously. Cake? Come on. Julian and Bella are childhood friends. A little care is normal. She usually looks so poised. Who knew she'd be this dramatic? Looking at Bella's face, so perfectly etched with innocence and a kindness, I felt nausea rise. If this had happened yesterday, maybe I would have fallen for her performance again, gently helped her up, whispered, "It's not your fault." But now, the scene felt grotesquely farcical. I slowly tugged my skirt free and looked down at her, word by deliberate word. Bella, drop the act. If you're not tired of it, I am. Her sobs hiccuped. She stared as though I'd slapped her. Julian yanked her upright and shielded her behind him, fury twisting his features. Serena, enough. Bella's health is fragile. Stop bullying her. I'm bullying her. A humorless laugh tore from me. Julian, get your facts straight. Today is my birthday and I'm your wife. You just gave the first slice of my birthday cake to another woman in front of everyone at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And now you blame me? She's not another woman. She's my best friend and your bestie. She's been frail since childhood. Of course I look after her. He proclaimed it as gospel. That old refrain again. 10 years. My ears bled from it. Bella, the delicate invalid. Bella, the orphan who needs protection. Bella, the simple soul too pure for the world. So when we dated, a single stomachache call could spirit him away, leaving me alone at the restaurant. So on our anniversary, her bad mood could chain him to a bar in downtown LA until dawn. So he forgot my birthday present yet remembered her offhand wish for a limited edition Hermes purse, spending a fortune just to watch her smile. For a decade I excused him, brainwashed by this sibling fairy tale, until 2 weeks ago, when I unlocked the secret in his ever-present work phone. No contacts, no spreadsheets, only a thread from someone named Snowflake. Good mornings at dawn, good nights at midnight, intimate as any lovers. Dozens of Bella's photos, pure, coquettish, every angle, and one, shot on their business trip to Miami. Bella in a robe selfie, beaming against Julian's shoulder, him gazing down with adoration I had never tasted. That moment I knew, my 10-year marriage was nothing but an elaborate joke. I wasn't a wife, merely a camouflage, a nanny for their innocent bond. Tonight's cake was simply the final straw. I drew a slow breath, steadied the tempest inside, and regarded them with sudden calm. Julian, I won't make a scene here. I picked up my clutch. I've already signed the divorce papers. I'll walk away from cars, houses, everything. One demand only. Tomorrow at 9. Be at the Los Angeles City Clerk's office. Don't be late. Without another glance I turned, lifted my head, and walked out under the swarm of curious eyes, leaving the stench of their betrayal behind. Outside the Beverly Hills Hotel, night wind hit my cheeks and I realized I'd been crying for miles. 10 years, how many does a woman get? I had handed my best youth to that man, and he repaid me with a calculated lie. An invisible fist clenched my heart until I couldn't breathe. A black Bentley glided to the curb. The window purred down, revealing a familiar, handsome face. Serena, get in. The heater inside was sanctuary strong. Chase handed me a paper cup of warm ginger tea and a wad of tissues. Wipe up. Your makeup's running. His voice was gentle, laced with quiet concern. Thanks, I rasped, scrubbing blindly. Chase had been mine and Julian's college classmate at Stanford and was now my partner in the startup we'd built on the sly. While Julian coasted into the Vance dynasty, a legacy real estate empire, Chase and I had started from zero in Silicon Valley. For years I'd hidden behind an investor alias, growing our tech company Starlight right under Julian's nose. Series A was around the corner, and Julian still believed his wife was a housebound ornament he could ignore. You saw everything? I asked, watching neon streak past Sunset Boulevard. He hesitated. I tried to warn you. A dry chuckle escaped me. I was the fool who refused to listen. More than once he'd hinted that Julian and Bella were too close. I'd always defended them. Sibling bond. Family loyalty. Pathetic. Wising up late beats never. He paused. What's next? Divorce. Steel lined my voice. Tomorrow. Chase simply nodded. Need help. I know good divorce lawyers in LA. Please. I wasn't refusing anything. This divorce would be flawless, and I'd reclaim every last thing that belonged to me. Back in the Beverly Hills mansion I had once called home, chill silence greeted me. Our wedding portrait still graced the wall, me beaming, eyes bright with futures that would never arrive. I lifted it off its hook and dropped frame and all into the trash. Then I rolled the suitcase I'd stashed in the walk-in closet and began to pack. There wasn't much. For 10 years I'd barely bought anything for myself. Every dress, bag, bracelet had been Julian's gift. He liked me in muted pastels, said they made me look gentle. Perfume annoyed him. He claimed a woman's natural scent was enough. Statement jewelry. Gaudy, he decreed. Simplicity was elegance. I had sculpted myself into his ideal and forgotten who I used to be. Now I yanked those lifeless pastel gowns from their satin hangers, flung them to the carpet, and dug to the bottom of the drawer until my fingers closed on a scarlet slip dress I'd hidden for years. That dress had been my favorite in college. Bold, flamboyant, a living flame, but Julian said it was too revealing, not right for me, so I banished it to the top of the closet and never wore it again. I slipped into the scarlet slip dress and slowly painted my lips crimson. The woman in the mirror had a willowy silhouette, her eyes bright with long-lost confidence and pride. This was Serena. When I finished packing, I wheeled my suitcase out of the bedroom just as Julian walked in. He'd been drinking. The stench of alcohol rolled off him. When he saw my outfit and the suitcase at my feet, his face darkened. Serena, do you have to do this? He stepped forward, reaching for my wrist. I stepped back, avoiding his touch. Julian, we're done. I stared at him coldly. Look over the divorce papers. If there's no problem, be on time tomorrow. I'm not divorcing you, he roared, eyes bloodshot. I admit I was wrong tonight. I shouldn't have given Bella the cake first. I apologize. But you can't erase 10 years of us over something this small. Small? I laughed as though I'd heard the joke of the century. Julian, you still think this is only about a piece of cake? I pulled out my phone and opened the candid shot of Chase and me outside a Malibu beach club, then shoved it at him. I'd asked Chase to arrange the photo. In it, he was gently smoothing wind-tousled hair for me, our heads close. The pose of two people deep in love. The instant Julian saw it, his pupils contracted. Who is he? A tremor flickered in his voice. My boyfriend, I lied without blinking. We've been together a long time. Impossible. Julian snatched the phone and glared at the image as though he could burn a hole through it. Serena, don't try to fool me. You're home every day. When would you have time for a boyfriend? Who says I'm home every day? His shock delighted me. Julian, do you actually know me? Do you have any idea what I've been doing these past few years? I didn't need his understanding. I took out another document and tossed it at him. This is the equity certificate for Starlight. I'm the majority shareholder and the CEO. Starlight, the rising Silicon Valley tech firm he'd been desperate to partner with but couldn't reach. Julian stared at the black and white words and my signature. Every muscle froze. The color drained from his face inch by inch. Shock. Disbelief. Horror. Twisting his handsome features. You're the CEO of Starlight, he muttered, as if his ears had betrayed him. Surprised, I folded my arms and watched him calmly. Julian, the Serena you thought you knew was only the Serena I let you see. Did you really believe I couldn't live without you? I gripped my suitcase and walked toward the door without looking back. Serena. Julian finally snapped awake and locked me in a desperate embrace from behind. I won't let you go. I'm not signing. His strength was crushing, as though he meant to fuse me into his bones. I struggled but couldn't break free. Julian, let go. No. He buried his head in the curve of my neck, voice quavering with panic. Serena, I was wrong, so wrong. Don't leave me. I can't lose you. I sneered inwardly. Now you know you were wrong. Too late. I raised my foot and, with every ounce of strength, stomped on his instep. He grunted in pain and loosened his hold. I yanked the door open and fled. Behind me came his hoarse, anguished roar. I never looked back. Julian, this is only the beginning. The next morning, frantic ringing Knocking at the door dragged me from sleep. I stepped out of the guest room in Chase's Silicon Valley condo, and, through the peephole, saw Bella's haggard face. How had she found me? Frowning, I opened the door. Serena. Tears spilled the instant Bella saw me. She started to drop to her knees. I was ready. I shifted aside and let her hit air. Speak if you have something to say. Save the kneeling. I leaned against the doorframe, watching her icily. Serena. Please. I beg you. Make up with Julian. She scrambled up and clutched my hand, sobbing. He drank all night, calling your name. He says he can't live without you. That he finally understands how wrong he was. He understands? I chuckled at the joke. What exactly was his mistake? Giving my birthday cake to his good little sister, or sneaking around with that same sister behind my back? Bella turned white, eyes darting. Serena. You're mistaken. Julian and I are only friends. Friends? I flung her hand away and thrust my phone at her. The robe selfie of them in Miami, filling the screen. Friends who cuddle in bathrobes. Bella. Do I look that stupid? The moment she saw the picture, her pupils shrank, every trace of color vanishing. Her lips parted, but no words came. Cat, got your tongue? I pressed closer. Keep spinning. Let's hear what new fairy tale you've got. We drank too much that day. She stammered. Nothing happened. Is that so? I curved my lips in a mocking smile. Then dare you repeat that sentence in front of Julian? Bella's mouth quivered. No sound emerged. Watching her guilt flail amused me. Bella. I must have been blind to call you my bestie. I pocketed the phone. Voice glacial. I treated you like blood. And you stabbed me in the back. Stealing my husband. Aren't you afraid karma will collect? I didn't. She screeched like a cat, with its tail underfoot. I never meant to break you two up. It's Julian. He's never gotten over me. Oh, fresh excuse. He can't get over you? I arched a brow. Enlighten me. How exactly can't he? We grew up together in Chicago. Childhood sweethearts. If it weren't for you, we'd already be married. Bella glared through red-rimmed eyes. Voice shrill. You're the one who stole what should have been mine. I froze. I stole everything from her. Julian and I were college classmates at Stanford. We got together while Bella was still studying overseas in London. When did I snatch anyone? Bella. Are you delusional? Her shamelessness nearly made me laugh. When Julian and I started dating, you weren't even in the country. So what? She shot back. Julian has always loved me. He dated you only because you look a bit like me. I look like her. Staring at her face, indeed somewhat similar to mine, suddenly the truth struck. I had merely been a stand-in, a pitiful, disposable replacement. Overwhelming absurdity and fury surged. My hand shot up, ready to slap her. Mid-swing, a stronger grip caught my wrist. Serena, don't dirty your hands on trash. Chase had appeared behind me. He pulled me behind him, shielding me, then fixed Bella with an icy stare. Bella, you're not welcome here. Leave, now. Bella gaped at Chase, then shrieked as though she'd found damning evidence. Serena, you really are sleeping with him. You cheated during your marriage. How dare you judge Julian and me? We're single adults. Whatever we do is none of your business. Chase said flatly. Rather, Bella, parading around as her bestie while coveting her husband. Don't you feel any shame? You. Bella choked, her face cycling between green and white. Get out. Chase's voice wasn't loud, but it carried absolute authority. Bella shot me one last hateful glare, then turned and stalked away. The instant the door clicked shut, my knees buckled. I sagged against Chase's chest. It's over. He patted my back gently, soothing a wounded animal. I buried my face in his shirt and let the tears fall without a sound. Yes, it was over. 10 years with Julian, 10 years with Bella. Today they had both ended in a bleeding full stop. At 9 sharp I stood outside the Los Angeles city clerk's office. Julian never showed. I called a phone off. I gave a cold laugh and dialed his assistant. Tell Julian, if he doesn't appear today, we meet in court. By then, every dirty secret about him and his good little sister stops being secret. I hung up. Within 10 minutes his flashy Ferrari screeched into view. He looked wrecked, unshaven jaw, bloodshot eyes, designer suit rumpled like discarded foil. He strode over and caught my arm, voice sandpaper rough. Serena, do you have to be this heartless? Heartless? I threw his hand off. Julian, that question is mine. What was I to you these 10 years? Some doll you could toss. Bella's stand-in? His body froze. His face bleached. You, no. If you don't want people to know, don't do it. My stare could have frozen coffee. One last time, do you sign or not? He stayed silent so long I thought he'd refuse. Finally, all air left him and he nodded. Fine, I'll sign. The moment the divorce decree hit my palm, calm. A lightness I'd never felt rushed through me. Outside, sun flooded the steps. I inhaled. Even the air felt brand new. Julian followed like a shadow. Serena, he called. Can we still be friends? I paused and looked back at a stranger. Julian, do we have anything left to be friends over? Hurt flickered across his face. I know I screwed up. Give me one more chance. I'll cut Bella off. Focus only on you. Promise. He rattled the words like a kid begging for leniency. No need. I cut him short. We can't go back. The second you handed Bella that first slice of cake, we were finished. I turned to leave. He grabbed me again. Serena, tell me, are you really in love with someone else? His glare was pure obsession. That chase. When did it start? That's none of your business. Like hell it isn't. You were my wife. Even divorced. You can't just... Julian. I snapped. Face reality. We're divorced. Who I see is none of your concern. Don't ever contact me again. I yanked free, flagged a cab, and sped away. In the mirror he stood abandoned. A big dog left roadside. Inside me, zero ripples. Back at Starlight's Silicon Valley headquarters, Chase was in a meeting. I sat in his office watching traffic far below, pulse steadying at last. That wrecked marriage had been a nasty flu, miserable, but curable. Bigger tasks waited. I would rocket Starlight to the stratosphere, stand on the tech industry's summit, and let Julian and Bella crane their necks looking up. They'd learn. Serena was nobody's accessory, nobody's understudy. I was simply me, singular and unrepeatable. Post-divorce life proved calmer than expected. Julian stopped stalking me, settling for daily bland texts, temperatures dropping in LA. Grab a coat, or I found a new bistro in Beverly Hills you'd love. When can we try it? I never replied. Bella evaporated. I poured everything into work. And with Chase we locked Starlight Series A. Valuation up tenfold overnight. Suddenly I was Tech's new darling. Interviews, conferences, gala invites. At one Silicon Valley summit I spotted Julian representing Vance. Seating plan parked us at the same round table. He'd lost weight in words, eyes tracking me with unreadable weight. After the panels came a cocktail reception. I glided through the room in a custom silver mermaid gown, trading quips with titans of industry. Champagne flute balanced like an extension of my arm. Julian's stare clung to every move. I slipped to the powder room. He cornered me in the corridor. Serena. His voice cracked with restraint. Vance. Problem? I kept it corporate, the title slicing the last thread between us. The frost stung him. Must we be strangers? He gave a bitter smile. We were married once. Vance jokes. We're nothing now. Serena. He stepped closer, reaching for my hand. Hear me out. Bella isn't what you think. I lifted a brow. Then what is she? At first, yes, you looked like her. The confession scraped his throat. But these 10 years I fell for you, hard. My feelings are real. Really? Sarcasm iced my tone. Your version of love served my birthday cake to her first. Snuck around for robe selfies with your I first love? It was a drunk mistake. Nothing happened. I swear. Enough. I cut the air. Who you actually love is your problem. Stop treating me like an idiot. I sidestepped. He locked me in a back hug. Arm steel bands. Serena, don't go. One more chance, let's start over. His breath, once familiar, now left me cold. I twisted. He tightened. Let go. Never. A cool voice sliced the tension. Vance, unhand my date. Chase. He stood a few paces away. Gaze arctic. Julian snarled, releasing me to seize Chase's collar. Fist cocked. Startled, I lurched between them. Julian, are you insane? My shielding Chase detonated Julian's rage. Poison blazed in his eyes. Serena, you really divorced me for him. He pointed at me, his voice warped with fury. You shameless woman. His words were like a poison-tipped knife, plunging straight into my heart. I went ice cold, too angry to speak. Chase pulled me behind him and stared at Julian without expression. Vance, watch your mouth. His voice was arctic. Serena is single now. She's free to be with anyone she wants. You, on the other hand, are still someone's husband, yet you're entangled with another woman. What right do you have to throw accusations? What did you say? Julian froze. You know exactly what I said. Chase's lips curled in a mocking smile. Should I publish the private photos Bella sent you? Julian's face drained of color. How could he know? Julian left in a daze. Only Chase and I remained in the corridor. Thank you. I looked at him. Gratitude sincere. No need. He smoothed my hair. Must by Julian. His touch gentle. Did he hurt you? I shook my head. How did you know about the photos? I couldn't hold the question back. Chase was quiet for a moment, then said slowly, I had someone look into it. I stared. You? I couldn't watch you stay in the dark. He met my eyes with an emotion I couldn't read. Serena, you deserve better. My heart gave a soft thud. Ripples spreading. After the gala, Chase drove me home. Soft music played in the car. The air felt delicate. Tonight, Must have been embarrassing to watch, I said, breaking the silence first. Not at all. He kept his eyes on the road. I saw a brave, decisive woman who cut her losses. I laughed, the weight on my chest lifting. By the way, he murmured, reaching to the passenger seat for an elegant box. Happy birthday. I blinked. My birthday had passed long ago. A makeup gift? He nodded. That day was complicated. I missed my chance. I opened the lid to a dazzling diamond necklace. The pendant was a star, the exact shape of our company logo. This is too much. Instinctively, I tried to hand it back. It isn't. His gaze held mine. Serious. You earned it. Starlight shines because of you. My heart skipped. Back in my LA loft, I stood before the mirror and fastened the necklace. Cool diamonds touched my skin yet felt somehow burning. Looking at my reflection, I felt hazy. After the divorce, I'd thought myself immune to love. Certain I'd never feel again, but Chase had walked in like a beam of light, illuminating the gray. He was gentle, attentive, respectful, supportive. He admired me. He showed me love at its finest. Could I be brave one more time? The thought sprouted like bamboo after rain, unstoppable. Next morning, for the first time, I asked Chase to dinner. He seemed surprised, but agreed at once. We chose a quiet French bistro in Beverly Hills. Candlelight flickered. The mood was perfect. Nervous, I sipped wine, then spoke. Chase, do you like me? His fork paused midair. He lifted his eyes, dark as night, drawing me in. After a moment, he set the silver down and nodded once. Grave. Yes. The single word sent a stone skimming across the lake of my heart. Since when? A long time. He smiled faintly. Since the first time I saw you at Stanford. I was stunned. Back then every fiber of me had belonged to Julian. I'd never noticed someone watching from the sidelines. Then why? Because your eyes were full of him. A trace of bitterness colored his tone. I didn't want to be a burden, so he'd stay to a friend, guarding me in silence while I smiled and cried for another man. And when my startup faltered, he'd poured in every cent he had, sharing the risk. Tears flooded my eyes. I hadn't been unloved. I'd simply looked the wrong way. Chase and I got together. No public announcement. We simply, naturally, became a couple. He moved into my loft. Like any ordinary pair, we commuted together to Silicon Valley. Cooked together. Curled up on the couch for movies. Days with him were quiet and happy. He remembered every preference, every throwaway remark. When I worked late, he arrived with hot supper from my favorite LA diner. When cramps hit, he brewed brown sugar ginger tea, cradled me, and warmed my stomach. For the first time I felt safe, treasured. I understood then. Real love isn't loud vows, but the tenderness threaded through daily life. Under our guidance, Starlight flourished. Soon we launched IPO preparations on NASDAQ. Meanwhile, headlines about Vance turned grim. A failed real estate investment in Chicago had snapped their capital chain. Bankruptcy loomed. The project responsible was the one Julian had forced through against all advice to please Bella. We were watching the financial report when the segment aired. On screen, reporters mobbed Julian, haggard and gaunt. He looked nothing like the confident man he'd once been. I felt no triumph, only indifference. What goes around comes around. He'd earned every bit of it. Days later my phone rang with an unexpected name, my former mother-in-law. Eleanor, she sobbed brokenly, begging me to save Vance, to save Julian. Serena, Mom knows we wronged you, but for 10 years of marriage, please help him. He's at the end of his rope. Vance is his life. If it collapses, he'll break. Serena, you're CEO of Starlight. One word from you could pull Vance back from fire. I'll kneel if I must. No need, I answered, voice flat. Julian and I are divorced. Vance's fate has nothing to do with me. I hung up. I'm no saint. I can't repay cruelty with kindness. I remember exactly how they treated me, and now that disaster has struck. They want my help. Why should I? I thought the matter ended there. Next afternoon, outside Starlight's Silicon Valley office, I found Eleanor on her knees, disheveled, tears streaming. She told every passerby I was an ungrateful wretch who'd abandoned her son once I climbed higher, who left her boy to die. A crowd gathered, fingers pointing, gossip flying. I trembled with rage. Chase signaled security to hold the throng back and shielded me, staring coldly at Eleanor. Mrs. Vance, this is a place of business, not a stage for theatrics. Keep this up and I'll call the police. Call them, she shrieked, sensing ammunition. Let officers judge the woman who dumped her husband and took up with another man. My son was blind to marry such a viper. Her words were too ugly to bear. I was so furious my vision blackened and I almost crumpled. Chase caught me, his face terrifyingly dark. Looks like Mrs. Vance won't cry till she sees the coffin. He pulled out his phone and made a call. Send every scrap of evidence, Vance's tax evasion, Julian's embezzlement, the houses and cars he bought Bella, to to every major LA outlet. His voice wasn't loud, yet it detonated like thunder in Eleanor's ears. Eleanor's wails cut off mid-sob. The Vance scandal spread across the internet like a virus. Tax evasion, embezzlement, keeping a mistress. Any single charge was enough to sink the Vance dynasty. Julian was taken in for investigation. Vance stock nosedived, and within days, the company filed for bankruptcy liquidation. A business empire crashed to rubble overnight, and the architect of it all, Bella, finally tasted the blowback. Netizens doxed her. Every sordid detail of her past was dragged into the light. She was branded other woman and a manipulator, a rat in the street everyone wanted to stone. She was expelled from her graduate program at UCLA. Her landlord kicked her out of her LA apartment, and overnight she owned nothing. She called me, shrieking that I had ruined her life. I listened in silence, then said only, "You brought it on yourself." Then I blocked her number. After that, I never heard another thing about her. Maybe she left the city, started over where no one knew her name, or maybe the shame was too much and she chose to disappear. Either way, it no longer concerned me. My life finally settled into calm. Starlight went public on NASDAQ, and both Chase and I watched our net worth soar. At the IPO celebration, he dropped to one knee in front of the entire room, ring in hand, gaze blazing. "Serena, marry me?" I stared at the man who had walked me through my darkest valley and given me nothing but tenderness, and tears blurred my eyes. I nodded hard. Yes. Applause and cheers exploded around us. Chase slipped the diamond onto my finger, stood, and pulled me tight against his chest. "I love you," he whispered into my hair. "I love you too." I held him back, voice cracking. "Thank you, Chase, for not giving up on me when I was at my worst, for showing me I deserve love and the brightest happiness the world can give." We set our wedding for balmy May, at a cliffside venue in Malibu where you can see both stars and sea. I wore white lace and walked toward Chase, toward happiness, on a carpet of petals, sunshine, salt wind, flowers, applause. Everything felt like a dream. When we exchanged rings, Chase vowed, "Serena, from this day you are my wife. All my life I will love, protect, and cherish you. Rich or poor, sick or healthy, I will stay by your side and never leave." Tears streamed down my face again. I looked at this handsome, steadfast man and whispered, "Chase, likewise." We kissed amid thunderous cheers, surrounded by family and friends. We promised each other forever. Afterward, we flew far away for our honeymoon, to the Amalfi Coast. We watched sunrise above snow-capped peaks and sunset over endless waves. We left every worry behind and lived inside our own small universe. When we came home, life resumed its sweet, steady rhythm. We ran our company together, mapped our future over late-night takeout from our favorite LA spot. Once the business stabilized, we decided we'd have a child, one who would belong to both of us. One night, curled on the couch watching a movie, I asked suddenly, "Chase, do you ever regret it?" "Regret what?" "Falling for me." I hesitated. "I'm divorced, and 2 years older." He laughed softly and kissed my forehead. "Silly woman," he murmured. "I only regret not telling you I loved you sooner, letting you waste so many years on the wrong man. But it's not too late now." He pulled me closer. "We still have a lifetime." I smiled and buried my face against his chest, listening to the steady drum of his heart, feeling safer than I ever had. Yes, it's not too late. Everything is still possible. The Serena who once crawled through love's dust is dead. The woman standing here is Serena 2.0, Queen of Starlight, Chase's wife, her own son. Thanks for listening to our story today. If you liked the video, please hit like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales. See you next time.